So I'm here working on Project Cherokee Massacree and trying to put the Spartan locker in the 8.8 I got, and I cannot get the cross pin in. Been fighting it. Had to pull it apart a couple times to get it to get the, come here, the specs between the two halves. It needs to be between 145 thousandths and 190. Got about 155, which is on the tight end, which I prefer it more on the tight end. And been doing that, and then the C-clip fell out of the driver's side shaft, and then yeah, it's been kind of a chore. And now trying to get this crosspin to go in, and it goes down about that far, and then it stops. And I take it with a hammer and I go and it just will not go. Oh, now the cross pin. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, I've tried to bevel the end of it just slightly to give it a little taper to try and move stuff. It doesn't. Alright, so I just finally got the pin in. What I ended up doing was right here, I took and ground, so every cross pin comes with a flat spot here and here. And I just ground it. I had that flat spot the whole way down. This is the pin that came out of it, because the locker came with a stronger pin. So I used this one to test that it would work. What that build-up piece in the center does is that originally it'll keep the axle shafts from going in. Where what was rubbing on it and keeping it to where it wouldn't go in was the little keeper pieces of the locker that hold the C-clip in and help push the axles out. So I could grind it on this one because now this is what's holding it and it's even, and then I could actually get it out so that it will work. I'm putting the bolt in now, and then in a minute I got a nice steel fabricated diff cover. I'm going to see if I can get that all set up and bolt it on. And then the axle as it sits now will be good, and then the next step will be to pull the Cherokee in and weld some brackets on, and so it can sit in there and get rid of the Dana 35 and have a trusty 8.8. And I won't be open front and rear. I will have the Spartan locker in the rear, so it'll actually go somewhere on certain obstacles. The day has come. We're saying goodbye to a Dana 35. Got the 8.8 outside, ready to go in. I only got a couple hours to work on it tonight, but I got all day tomorrow. So I'm hoping that's enough time to get it all swapped over. We'll see. We all know how projects go. You think they're gonna be simple, and then they're not as much. Alright, so it's only about an hour later, and Dana 35 is out. It's over there. It was kind of a unique experience, because for the first time ever, I picked up the axle. When I set it on the stands, I set it on the stands to unbolt it. I picked it up by myself and carried it over there. First time I've ever been able to do that. I think maybe weighs 100 pounds. It's so light. I'm used to like 14 bolts, the 10.5s that are just so heavy. Did that, and then I got the U-joint adapter to bolt up to the 8.8, and then I got the 8.8 out front hooked to our tractor. I'm going to be pulling that in, get it up here, get everything mocked up, lined up, and going together so I can get the pinion angle set, get that welded up, and then I think I gotta make some shock brackets. I got these right here. I got these, but they're designed for the shock to go front back, like sitting back, you know, if you look front to back, it sits like this, where they sit like this side to side, and you can see the factory mounts. So I'm thinking I'm gonna build something kind of similar to this, that's just, you know, really short, kind of tucks the bracket up so it's not something big to catch rocks on, but I'll build a tab that comes out and up so the shock's in double shear and hope that makes it stronger. We'll see how ambitious I get. That's what I'm looking at, because I want to drive this by the end of the day tomorrow, and if I buy something I'm at least a week out. So plus we still got the remnants of coronavirus stuff to where we can't get everything right away. So if I do that, it may just be sitting out back, and I don't want that to happen. I want to be able to go use it. So I've been super good at catching videos throughout the progress of this, but really all that's happened is a full day of getting those two perches welded on. I haven't been 100% focused, I will admit that, but it is 5 o'clock. Been on it most of the day, and I got the two perches on. So yeah, just need to focus and at least get this in and the brakes on it so I can at least drive it, and then I'll worry about shocks and changing the exhaust, because the pinion's like right here. Oop, angle it to where you can see right there, and so it'll hit this. Oh, it's like right here, it'll come up and hit it. So I got to switch that and get either a center out or a passenger side out muffler, get a whole cat bag exhaust. As you can see, it's not in perfect shape, so now's the time to replace it all anyways. Yeah, I had the brilliant idea of having one side on that transmission jack, the other side on that transmission jack, and the pinion being supported by that high horse that's right there. And if that high horse doesn't say what happened, I don't know what does. It fell off. See, there's one bent stud and a divot in the concrete. I'm lucky that's all that happened. I was on the other side trying to get the perches level and squared up and everything, and well, here's to hoping that I can get this in and make it drivable before the end of the night. I'm hoping. So the day wasn't nearly as productive as I originally hoped, but it's kind of my own fault. So I got it in, it's in, I can move it. It doesn't have brakes. The brake hose that comes down to the axle is just pinched off. I got a longer one for it that, so fun fact, the YJ brake hose that runs up from the body down to the axle is about 3 inches longer. Same fittings, everything. At least that's what I read, and from what I've compared, it's true. I'll find out when I actually put it in. But yeah, I just painted the around where I welded the spring perches on, put the U-bolts on, tightened it all down, threw the tires on. That's enough for today. It's late, I'm tired. Tracked down some brake hoses, hoping that the GMT 800, like the 99 to 07 half-ton rear brake hoses will work. They look like they will, so we ordered those, because on these, that hose would work good, that one won't. So we'll stick with something really mainstream that every parts store should have in case I'm ever on the trail and tear one up. And then I still got a bunch to do, but for now, it's at least there where I can use it, or not use it, roll it out, so we have the shop for next week. It is kind of interesting though to look at the Jeep now with the 8.8 that raises it about a half an inch roughly, and I'm wondering if it's just a little bit more. It sits a little tall in the back now. Oh well, one step closer to the height I want it to have. So all right, it's been a couple weeks, but I'm back at it. Get this 8.8 going back together. I got the shock brackets right here that I ordered. These are the double shear style. They got a little tab right here for the other shear. You just put wherever you need to for the particular shock you use. And then it comes over here. You put it on the housing. I think I'm gonna go right here. So originally they were about half over the U-bolt, kind of where they went. But a shock actually works a little bit better the straighter up and down you can get it. And if I go there, I don't have to take and put a slot in it right there to clear the U-bolt. So easy button, and gives the shock a better angle. And so I can get it right there, and then it's tucked clear up, because the other one hung down to probably right in here. And although, you know, you're not really gonna catch it on the rock all that easy, you just can't catch that on a rock. It's out of the way. So I got that, and then I also got a new exhaust system for it. You see I had to spun the clamp around so that the driveline wouldn't hit it. There's actually, you can kind of, yeah, see that little mark on the end of the yoke? That's actually from rubbing the bolts when I pulled it out last time. So before I pulled it in, I just spun that around. I got the Banks Monster system. Hopefully that all fits good, and it's a short body muffler, so hopefully it's not too loud. Yep, and then I got the brakes. So I'm gonna get to it. You ever been like me and you get so in the zone, you're putting stuff together, everything's going good, and then you go to, you weld this bracket on, you go to put the shock on it and realize it's supposed to be over here on this side? Yeah, that's exactly what I did. So as you can see, right there is where the shock's supposed to go, and it's right there where this bracket needs to be. So I got like the diff cover on, it's all filled with fluid, this side's all painted, this is all painted, you know, I'm doing good. I'm like, I'll throw the shocks on. I just put this one on, go to put this one on when I realized that, you know, it's on wrong, and I was like, oh cool, I'll do that. I'll get the exhaust done and start on brake lines, and then I realized I gotta go backwards because I messed up. Oops. Oh well, nothing I can do. I gotta get to work, I gotta do it. So I'm gonna pull this U-bolt back off. I'm going to take a hard disc, grind all the welds off, be as careful to this bracket and to the housing as I can so I don't nick the housing, and I can reuse this bracket. And oh well, nothing I can really do about it now. I just gotta get to work. What do you think, Corbin? Did I mess up?
No.
Yeah, I did. See this piece?
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be over here.
Oh. Okay.
Did I mess up then?
Yep.
Yep, so I'm gonna get to work on that. Okay, that's it for this this go around. That shock tab over there on the passenger side, it only took me about an hour to grind it off, clean everything up, weld it back on the other side. But I did, yeah, I got the diff cover on and all that. The axle's all painted other than like where the caliper bolts onto the bracket, because I'm gonna want to clean that up a little more, because you can see that through the wheel. Yeah, you can see there's the bracket, and it's real home. So I gotta, one thing I discovered is I gotta be able to drop the bump stops. I knew that before. I had another set of the other tires I had on this before had cuts in it from rubbing up on the fender, so that's why it's kind of bent right here. And so I'm gonna adjust the bump stops to where it doesn't hit there. All right, it's Friday afternoon. We just wrapped up in the shop and Cherokee's back in here. I'm gonna get started on the exhaust. It is going to come out, and I'm gonna get in this Banks system I have over here. Put this in it. That's the minimum goal for today. And then I have to do the brakes. Place rotors, pads, park brake, get the park brake cables hooked up, get the lines ran, all the basic stuff. So I'm gonna see what I can do, but minimum, absolutely bare minimum, the exhaust gets done. Just got the exhaust system all in. It actually really wasn't too bad at all. Just had to trim a little bit right here at the front of the muffler to slide it forward to give me a little more room in this area. It probably would have been fine, but I needed, after I cut this pipe, because it was like this long to length, I needed just that little ½ inch more, so I just went here. Yeah, you can see on my thumb, I cut myself on a pipe. Oh well, nature of the beast. And then right here at this joint, I cut this pipe a little bit too to tuck this farther up. I don't know why it was as long as it was. They probably make them longer just to fit everyone's needs. And then we came back here, and this was like a complete 90-degree turn down, which we just cut it back to give us the most room we can while still pointing it down so it'll look good. Overall, it looks a whole lot better than the other system, especially right here. The first time I took it out, it had a nice stainless, or well, it was probably chrome stainless, something like a nice polished tip, and dropped a rock and squished it, so I took and cut it with a sawzall. So there was half a tip. You can see right here. There's half a tip. And it's not even a square cut because it was a trail side cut with a little tiny sawzall. But yeah, it just looks better. I like the way it sounds. I fired it up. It's got a really low tone at idle, so it sounds really good. I just hope it doesn't drone going down the road, because the muffler is, you can see how small it is. Here's my hand for representation. All right, so back at the Cherokee today, got to get these brakes done. Get that done, run some lines over there to the rubber line, all the hard lines. Gonna get that all done, both sides. It's just time to make it to where I can drive this. It's been going on so long with everything else going on in life. I think it's been down for at least a month. It's probably been close to 2 going on with this project that, like I said, with so much going on in life. And I'm ready to drive it, so I'm just gonna make the brakes work, be able to go drive it, and then I can see if make sure everything's good on the exhaust that I put in. If that's all good, I'll bring it back and I will just tack everything and all the joints just to make sure nothing can rotate, no one can roll under here and steal the muffler. I don't know why you do that, but people do weird things. And yeah, that's the plan. I only got a few hours, then someone else is gonna use the lift tonight. So it's 3 o'clock and I have till 6. At 6 o'clock, I have to be done with the brakes. So it shouldn't be that hard. I've done harder things in life, but I just hope nothing fights me. So it's the next day, next morning. Here's where I'm at. Last night I got the calipers on, the rotors. I mean, all the brakes are done. I just gotta connect these lines on each side to the calipers, and this rubber hose up there, and then bleed the brakes, and it's ready to drive. I'm just gonna get this done. It shouldn't be, worst case scenario, an hour, hopefully less. And it's done. Just got to take it for a test drive. But I just checked that the gear oil was full, brake fluid was full, and that all the bolts I messed with on the rear end are tight. It's all good. I'm gonna go run it for a test drive. If all's good, I'll be so excited. I am glad to be able to drive it again. Thanks for watching.